Hello Internet! Welcome to part 2 of my Theorist's Pokemon video. I got a lot of comments on the first video to make a female Matrimol based on Steph, MatPat's wife, but just making one Pokemon isn't enough for a whole video, so I asked you guys if you'd like to see another video with more Theorist crew members, like Head Editor Dan or Jason, and the fact that 90% of you wanted to see a sequel told me all I needed to know. So, here we are! I've made another 6 Pokemon for this video, whereas the first part had all the hosts of the channels. By the way, I totally called Ashby the new host of GTLive, just saying. This one will cover some of the behind the scenes guys. Once again, I got Dark and Windy to draw these Pokemon for me. If you didn't follow them last time, I suggest you do so now.
Or the consequences will be severe.
There will be one change from last time though. I won't be fitting each of their full names into the Pokemon, because even I'm not crazy enough to try to put Jason into a Pokemon name.
I'm crazy enough to take on
Santi. But Jason?
No, thank you.
I hate myself, but not that much. I did still manage to put some of each of their names in their Pokemon, so there's that. And now, starting off with the one most requested by far, Stephanie. I got a bunch of comments saying that I should make a female Matrimol based on Steph. So, here she is, the Lion Pride Pokemon, Matrimol, but a girl this time.
You're a woman?
It has the same typing, abilities, and move as its male counterpart, but I gave the female Matrimol a new Pokédex entry. Female Matrimol are more reserved than their male counterparts. Whereas the males can often be spotted chasing after their next meal, the females are less often spotted, as they are raising their young. I gave it the new entry to represent how MatPat was always the voice of the channels, while Steph did her magic behind the scenes. I also turned the red jacket layer of Matrimol's fur purple, as purple is Steph's favorite color. My in-universe explanation for the color change is that, while male Matrimol use their psychic energy to make their mains, the females don't, so all the extra energy gets stored in their fur, changing its hue. And since we're doing Steph, we might as well complete the Patrick family and make an Ollie pre-evolution as well. Consider it a baby Pokemon, like Riolu to Lucario, or Toxel to Toxtricity. Introducing the Lion Cub Pokemon, Ollion, from Ollie and Lion, a pure psychic type. Ollion are taught to cherish their family from a young age. As Ollion grow up, they become more passionate and caring. Two Ollion from the same pride are practically inseparable. I made Ollion's fur jacket the same color as Matrimol's belly, since Ollie is blonde. It has the ability Adaptability, like its evolution, but its hidden ability is Cute Charm, because just look at him! Ollie's adorable! Since it's a pre-evo, it doesn't have a new move, but it'll get one when it grows up. Those two are kinda short, so let's move on to the next one, Jason. The first thing any game theory fan thinks of when hearing the name Jason is #blame Jason.
Blame Jason.
#blame Jason. #blame Jason.
By the way, Jason, if this video does poorly, it's on you. So I had to include that in the Pokemon, but how can I base a Pokemon off of being blamed? Jason is being blamed for everything that goes wrong, even if it's not his fault. What does that remind me of? Of course! The boy who cried wolf! Jason can be the wolf that is cried by the boy, being blamed for something he didn't do, and eventually something he did do, but we don't have to go into that. But just making Jason a wolf is kinda boring, so what else can I bring into this? I know! I'll go to the old reliable Theorist Wiki! Alright, let's see. Scared of birds, #blame Jason, I got that already. Compares himself to a Super Saiyan? Alright. I can work with that. Here is the blameless Pokemon, Jasanus. From Jason, Canis, Latin for dog, and Saiyan, like the Dragon Ball guys, a fighting type. Jasanus defend weaker Pokemon, but due to their unsettling appearance, they are often thought to be the aggressors. Jasanus are seen as bad luck wherever they go. I gave Jasanus some Super Saiyan-like hair, since apparently Jason is the second coming of Son Goku, and the pink limbs and monkey tail are a reference to Super Saiyan 4. It being fighting type calls back to Jason's ornithophobia, as fighting is weak to flying. Its abilities are justified, as Jasanus is trying to do good, and intimidate, since it's seen as scary. Its new move is Wild Cry, a status move that raises the attack and speed stats by one stage. It's based on the classic Dragon Ball power-up screen. Now, here's where things start to get a little iffy, starting with Head Editor Dan. There's not really much about Head Editor Dan on the Theorist Wiki, but I want a full team of 6, so Dan's probably my best bet. What to do? Huh. Head Editor Dan. What if his Pokemon had a big head? Like I said, it's getting a bit iffy from here. Looking up what animals have big heads proportionate to their bodies, the one that stood out to me was octopuses. Or, if you want to be fancy, octopodes. Yes, that is an actual way of saying the plural of octopus. If you don't like it, take it up with Merriam-Webster. Anyway, now that we have the animal down, we need the concept. Looking at Dan's surname, all I can think of is cyborgs. So, what if we made Dan's Pokemon a cyborg or a metal octopus? But how to incorporate metal into an octopus? I got it! Octopodes have no bones, so they use water pressure to keep themselves in shape. Dan's Pokemon can be made of liquid metal. Introducing the liquid metal Pokemon, Cycium. From Siebert, Dan's surname, Cyborg, Sea, and Cesium, a liquid metal. It's steel and water type. Cycium live in deep trenches of the ocean, feeding off of minerals buried in the seafloor. Their liquid-like bodies allow them to squeeze through all manner of tight spaces. Its body is a bit droopy, since Cycium is made of liquid metal. Its giant head, for Head Editor Dan, resembles a diving helmet. And something I didn't learn until after making this Pokemon is that Dan's a writer. So, you know, ink. It fits! Cycium has the ability Light Metal, because of liquid metals, and Heat Proof, because Dan got severe burns from climbing on a burnt tree as a child. Being a water type would prevent that. It has the new move, Tentacut, a 70 power move with 100% accuracy that removes all the opponent's stat changes. Basically, Cycium is editing out any stat changes on the opponent. On to our next member of Team Theorist, MatPat's. MatPat's was the behind-the-scenes guy before Ash, and it's obvious what MatPat's Pokemon will be based on, a mirror. But it can't be just a mirror, so we need something else. Well, MatPat's used to wait tables, and he would often claim to be studying different majors when asked about his personal life. So, let's make MatPat's a Pokemon that reflects lies and false prophecies to whoever looks at it. Here we have the false reflection Pokemon, Mirrorvile. From Mirror, Mirror, Revile, to tell a lie, and Vile, a steel and dark type. Mirrorvile can project anything from its glass body, but it chooses to show people lies and untruths to confuse and depress them. One who is known to fabricate stories is often called a Mirrorvile. Its design is based on all the classic prophetic mirrors, like the magic mirror on the wall from Snow White, or the mirror of Erised from Harry Potter. Its abilities are traced, as mirrors reflect anything they see, and magic bounce, because a mirror bounces back anything in front of it. Mirrorvile's new move is Troubling Illusion, a 50 power move with 100% accuracy that lowers the opponent's attack stat by 1 stage. Time for our final Pokemon of the video, Ronnie. Real talk for a second. Some of you Theorist fans might not know Ronnie, and that's because he hasn't been part of the Game Theorist crew for a while. Ronnie committed suicide in mid-2018. He was one of the first people brought onto the Game Theorist team, editing videos as early as 2012. And while they could sometimes come off as brash or passive-aggressive, everyone who knew the real Ronnie has said that he was a truly wonderful person. Just as an aside, if you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of depression or suicide, there is hope and there is healing. I'll put some suicide prevention hotlines and websites in the description. So, I'm making this Pokemon in honor of Ronnie and his memory. Rest in peace, Ronnie. I remember when I first saw Ronnie's nickname, I thought it was pronounced Oni, like the Japanese demon, but even though it's pronounced Ani, I still think making an Oni Pokemon could work. Now, I wonder if there are any stories about Oni that I could use to base this Pokemon off of. Here's one, the Red Oni Who Cried. To summarize the story, it tells of two Oni, a red Oni and a blue Oni. The red Oni wants to be friends with everyone, but due to its intimidating appearance, all the townspeople are scared of it. The blue Oni, seeing this, decides to help the red Oni by causing mayhem and destruction in the village. The red Oni saves the day, and the people of the town celebrate the red Oni as a hero. The blue Oni decides to leave, so as not to cause any confusion for the townspeople. When the red Oni goes back home to his friend, he sees that the blue Oni is gone. The red Oni realizes what the blue Oni has done for him, and cries from being touched by the blue Oni's thoughtfulness and friendship. This is absolutely perfect. Let's go! Here is the friendly Pokemon, Onir. From Oni, Ani, Ronnie's nickname, and Tyr. It's a pure fairy type. Onir love making friends. It is said that an Onir will reach its true potential once it has made 100 friends. Oni are very emotional and will bawl tears of gratitude whenever they're shown affection. Its body is red on top and blue on the bottom to represent both the Oni in the story. The one that wanted to be loved and was celebrated for its work, and the one that helped out in the shadows. The tear tracks on its face not only reference the story of the red Oni who cried, but also FNAF, because Ronnie was an editor for Game Theory, and you can't have Game Theory without FNAF. Ain't that right? And this isn't even half of them. It has the ability Friend Guard, because the red Oni wanted to make friends, and Rough Skin, because Ronnie's first video editing for Game Theory was about the worth of Minecraft's diamond armor. Onir has its own signature move, Friendly Gesture, a status move that raises all of its allies' stats by 1 stage. So, there's my second set of Theorist Pokemon. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And if you had to choose from the 10 Pokemon lines from both of these videos, which would you choose to make up your 6 Pokemon team? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Of course, a huge thanks again to Dark and Windy for the amazing artwork.
You did follow them on Twitter, right?
And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any other fun videos of mine down the road. But hey, that's all for now. See ya!